Hi, I'm Matt, and I do pedal videos and demos and tutorials of other people's songs. And I also play guitar in the band Map and Compass. So this is a tutorial for one of my own songs. This is the song of ours that has taken off the most for a small band that's making a very moderate impact. But I know other churches are playing it, and I know people who are covering it. And I'm assuming they are mostly just doing it acoustic or orchestrating it on their own, however they'd like to, and of course they should. But if you cared for some reason how exactly this is played, I thought it's not intuitive from listening to the recording, maybe how some of these parts go. And so I thought as the song gains in popularity, I might as well do a tutorial for exactly how the guitar parts go. And of course, you're welcome to change them however you want. It's really just a 2-guitar song for the most part, except that I wrote it around kind of a looper thing. So that's the part I'll explain first, because the beginning of the song is a loop of 3 guitars stacked that just repeats through like half the song. And there's no exact way to play that on one guitar, but the additional layers are not adding that much. So I have a modified version if you're just the only guitar player, which I almost always am. So every time I've ever played this live, I did the modified version. So I'll put a timestamp for that where you can just jump to how I play it if I'm the only guitar, which is like a combination of all 4 guitar tracks basically. And then I'll also put a timestamp if you want to just jump to the playthrough where I actually play all of these parts and you can watch me. Otherwise, leave it playing and I'm going to explain what I'm doing in more detail. But if you want to jump to either of those, I'll have links to the correct time. And then I'm also going to have tabs in the comments. I know it's sometimes easier to learn with that to look at than just watching my fingers. So there will be tabs for both the correct album version and the way I actually play this live when you're the only guitar in the comments below. I'll have them on my Dropbox or something. So first off is this loop, for which I apologize, but I think I wrote this song on a looper. I think I was messing around on my Ditto or something. And so the genesis of the song is 3 loops on top of each other that are just adding a little bit to each other. So there's the main one. I'll play without any effects so you can actually hear it. It's supposed to be pretty heavily delayed, but... So that's the first like loop. And then I would have punched in and added a harmonic. That comes in on the second time you hit this high C, like right there. I add another loop that just goes. And then there's a third loop that's just doing a third below harmony of that. So the little walk down. On the third loop, it goes like this. So the best I can approximate playing all of that at once is something like... But frankly, you don't really need all of those layers. That's just the loop that's running in the recording. If I was playing it live, I usually just do something like this. Preferably with a tape delay, probably a faster one. I think I usually do 1/8 notes for this. So on the recording, there's a 3-layer loop running there, but the other layers of it are not that essential, and it's pretty easy to combine them down into like one guitar. So that's that, and that runs through the intro, the verse, the second verse, the down chorus, and at the end. So it's like half the song that's just going in the background. The only part where the second guitar does anything other than that is the chorus has kind of a modified version of that where it's the same picking pattern, but the chords are changing. So it's... F major 7, whatever that is, a G suspended, just A minor, and then C. And then it ends with this. So that's the chorus lead, and that's the only part where like the loop drops out and something else plays. And then for the verse, the rhythm guitar comes in on these, I don't know if there's a name for these third chord shapes that I use a lot, where it's the E string and the G string playing like the root and the third and nothing else really. In this case, it comes in on F. So 1 and 2, and then it's G, A minor. So the way that the verse is running, that like loop thing is happening, and then the rhythm comes in on. And that's the whole verse. And then there is one little lead fill thing that happens coming out of the verse. It's just kind of your classic. Again, I don't know if there's a name for that, but I see those in worship leads a lot, where it's the G and the high E string. And then I think the chorus rhythm guitar is just chords. Just the thing that the lead is doing kind of carries that. And the rhythm is just, probably has like a bunch of effects on. So that's all for the chorus. Second verse, I think, is played exactly like the first one, except the drums are doing more, but it's still just that. And then the bridge actually changes, and it's a little complicated, only because I really like using the open B string as almost a dissonant drone note sometimes. So it's A minor that it starts on, but I'm doing open A string, 2, 5, and then the open B for the dissonant note. And then the C goes to this. Can see it. And there's that open B again. I do like a 7 on the G string. And then the second time, the only thing that changes is that my F, instead of being, what is that, an F sus2, it goes to this like dissonant thing where I put an E in it. I don't even know what that is, F add 7 or something. So the second time it does something like this. So that one takes some practice. I wasn't even this smooth at playing it when I first wrote it, just practice from doing it a lot. So that's the build into the bridge. And then there's one really loud one that goes like this, and I would switch to my bridge and kick on a drive. So that's just the root chords, and then this thing, which is using the open B as like a dissonant drone the entire time. So here's it again. And then when it drops to the quiet bridge, it's all swells all the time. There's like 4 tracks of swells there. So there's no correct way to play that, just whatever seems right to you. That sort of thing. Anywhere on the guitar is fine. And then when the down chorus comes back in, the trick to it is that it's a chorus that's played like the verse. So it's that loop comes back, and then the chord shapes are like the verse again, except that it does go up to the C, which the verse never does. So it's just the chorus changes, but played as if it's the verse. And then there's just one more chorus and out. There's a lot of layers because of that loop thingy, but otherwise it's really just a 2-guitar song. Hopefully that was fairly straightforward. You're also, of course, welcome to just play it as open chords or on a piano or whatever feels right to you. But I wanted it to be documented somewhere how I play this in case anybody was ever curious. And then I'd mentioned that there's kind of a simplified version I usually play when I'm doing this. I've come up with the loop thing with root notes up here. So this is how I do the intro and the verse when I'm doing it, is I just kind of keep the eights on the high E and the B held down and then move the root note around. So. And then for the chorus, you can get the effect of the lead part and the strums by just strumming the beginning of it. So like. And then just play the bridge the same, and that's it. So that's how I actually do this live. If you just have one guitar, that can take a little bit of acrobatics sometimes. You could also just capo 5 and it would be like all right under your fingers there. But anyway, that's the simplified version if that helps someone. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And if you watched this, or if you're one of the churches that's playing this, thanks for taking an interest in our song. It means a lot. Hope that helps.